morning. At least this morning to me. Welcome to another studio vlog. It is now 7:50 in the morning. I'm trying to remember when the last time was that I did film a studio vlog for you. Let me check. Oh wow, it was in September. And then we had the studio tour in November. And of course, just weeks after I uploaded that studio tour, the design of the studio changed again. Let me begin by showing you the absolute chaos that my studio is at the moment and show you my newest addition to the studio equipment. Oh my goodness, it's so messy here. Here's the dog, he is sleeping. This is what I'm currently working on. You might know my oil pastel sketchbooks. I have one right here. This one is mine, where I alternate between pastel paper and these transparent shades to make sure your paintings don't smudge. They sold out pretty quickly and I wanted to create 3 different colored versions, 12 of each. So I already sewed the signatures together. I cut all the paper before. And now all that's left to do is make the hardcovers. But let's move on to the newest addition. A large format paper trimmer. I got this off eBay. Someone was closing down their business and therefore they had to get rid of this machine. And I got it for a very good price. It is working perfectly. I will use it to trim all of these 36 sketchbooks, and I hope it will be handy for using this heavy carton I'm using for the hardcovers. I had to take a 2-week break from doing anything at all with my hand because it was doctor's orders. My wrist was giving me lots of trouble. And I had to decide whether I wanted to keep on doing bookbinding and get some better equipment that would help me not use my wrist as much. And I either way had to get this bandage and use it from now on whenever I'm doing bookbinding. So this is the current state of the studio. And first order of the day is to clean it up. Okay, this is looking much better now. Now I will have to send off 2 packages today. The first one is the original of my Howley. I gifted this to my sister 2 years ago, I believe, or maybe even 3. Did I write down? 2020. In 2020 I painted this. And now that I have this awesome scanner and printer, it is doing a much better job at portraying the blues I need for this. When we met at Christmas, she gave this to me. I said I'd scan it and send it back to her. That's what I'm gonna do now. And I also sold an art print of the Little Prince. I will hand embellish it because the customer wants it hand embellished, and then I'll send that off as well. Let's get started. Oh, there is still one. Ha ha ha, there is still one that is already hand embellished. Great, I don't have to embellish anything. Although I do have to embellish some more for the future, but right now I can just wrap this up.
Sliding doors, just wanna know you more. I hope you wanna be a somebody.
so pretty! It's the, not Epson, but the Canon matte photo paper. I use this for my art prints. I'm gonna have to let it dry very well, and then I'll hand embellish it with the Finetech Coliro watercolors. I'll just hand embellish these two art prints, and then it is probably almost 10 in the morning, and I will take the little sleepy head out. It's now 11 a.m. and I just came back from an hour-long walk. Dino is gonna sleep now in his kennel. The art print, the hand-embellished art print should be fully dry, and I'll package it and send it off later in the afternoon. That's what we're gonna do now. I'll just bring him to his kennel and then we can continue working. Bye bye. Even though I wore this super fluffy sweatshirt, that was not enough. I was too cold when I was outside. So I guess I'll grab some tea as well. I don't want to get sick. Next on the agenda is to trim all of the oil pastel sketchbooks. When you bind a book, it is almost impossible to calculate beforehand how much paper will shorten or lengthen as you fold it. Therefore, what I tried to do with the first 3 oil pastel books I sold was to take a metal ruler and go over it with a cutter multiple times to have a nice clean edge. And that is very straining on the wrists. Let's try this. And now I'm unable to cut unless I close this security metal flap. So unfortunately, there will be no satisfying footage of me cutting paper. I love it! Ah! Would you look at this? Clean edge. Camera, focus. Ooh, there it is. Just have to do the other 2 as well. And the remaining 35 oil pastel sketchbooks. So even though I do have the large format paper cutter, I still have to cut these in half because they don't yet fit into the paper cutter. I have 18 sheets of these and I have to cut all of them in half by hand. I'll just start and see how far I'll get. I am speechless. This paper trimmer is more than I imagined. I can't believe after maybe 1 hour of work, have the paper for 36 book covers. Still, I am exhausted. It is still physical work. Moving that lever and moving both hands all the time, grabbing the paper. I'll take a quick coffee break. And when I come back, I can show you the beautiful paper I have for the book covers. I have 3 different kinds. I'll see you in a second. I just realized that it's 3 p.m. and I didn't eat lunch yet, which is probably the main reason I'm so exhausted. So I went ahead to remedy that and we'll drink some coffee later. Today is a good day. I forgot that I had cake. That was a nice surprise, looking in the fridge just now. I don't think I ever specifically said that, but I can't eat gluten at all, not even traces. So I don't get to eat cake that often. My mom bakes me incredible gluten-free cakes, and then every Sunday there is one cafe here that has all gluten-free cakes, but only on Sundays, so I have to decide which ones to get. And they are expensive, they are so expensive, but they do bring me lots of joy. Take a look. Here we have a Black Forest variation. This is cheesecake and this is apple almond crumble. And these are not the complete pieces. The cake pieces are huge, but I try to eat 2 or 3 days on this cake. I'm so happy. I'm so glad we got these yesterday. And now I'm gonna drink my coffee, enjoy the cake. Let me just face you once more. And maybe I can still get some work done before I have to go outside with the dog again and train a bit in the garden. That's what we're gonna do now.
Like, it's just been so many things. Like, I was washing the dishes this morning and I somehow managed to, like, get my head.
I have my gouache sketchbooks, which have 4 different color profiles. The paper in them have different shades of a certain color. And I wanted to do the same with the oil pastel sketchbooks. There is one in simply white, only white paper, and between each paper there is of course this protective sheet. The second one is the original color profile of the oil pastel sketchbooks I already sold. It's hard to describe. There is some brown as well as green, white, beige, gray. And the last one is natural terracotta, beige, white colors. Again, a light brown, chamois, light yellow. Not good at French. Every colored page is always alternating with a white page. There is a colored white page. Now let me show you what kind of paper I will use for the terracotta one. This is gorgeous paper. I cannot believe I found such incredible paper. Next one for the colorful oil pastel sketchbook is this one. All of them have gold details on there, and what I liked about this one was that all of the colors in the oil pastel sketchbook with the colored pages can be found in this motif. And the last one for the all white pages is this one. There were many motifs I could have chosen, but I wanted the three of these to not look horrendous next to each other. I wanted them to have a somewhat cohesive look. Yeah, those are the papers, and all I have to do is fold them in half and then cut them with my bookbinding knife, and then it should be the exact size I need for the book cover. Let's see if past Francis was good at math. But before we do, check out these other papers I got on top of the ones I needed. This is Cotta's as well. It is blue tiles. I got one specifically to make a sketchbook for my nephew, which is this one. Isn't this just so pretty? I was having a hard time at that paper stand. I was almost crying because the paper is so pretty. There were so many beautiful motifs, and I just couldn't decide. I wanted them all. My husband was so patient. He was with me in the art supply store. Oh, this one is especially pretty. This is Gustav Klimt motifs. These are writings from the Middle Ages. And these two are the last ones. It's decoupage paper. Okay, let's fold some more paper. Yes, past Francis did a good job measuring these out. I just have to fold all of them, cut them in half, and then begin the book covers.
Cool air blows a memento as I fall behind.
Whew, I am tired. I just came back from the second walk of the day with the dog. It is 10 to 5. And I think I might call it a day and only work on some passion projects. I did a lot today. I hand embellished the prints and prepared the order. I made a bunch of new thank you cards because they were empty. I cut all of the edges of these about 30 sketchbooks. I also made 36 of these and 72 of the book covers and the back of the book. I just now started the book cover. On top of that, I walked 4 kilometers with the dog and I'm very tired. I will see you either, if I feel like it, at one of the passion projects I'm gonna start now, or tomorrow when we continue these sketchbooks. See you then. Good morning. It's not the next day. I caught a cold. I'm pretty sure I was just too cold while I was taking the walk on Monday, and then the tea I mentioned didn't help. So I spent 2 days in bed reading Thankfully, it didn't knock me out completely. I was just feeling sick and didn't want to overwork myself because this is, as I mentioned, physical labor. It can be quite exhausting, especially the process I'm currently in. But if I was able to, I continued doing some book covers, gluing the carton on the paper, just really repetitive work that didn't need much brain power, and I stopped as soon as I felt it was getting too much. But today I feel better. I'm gonna drink my coffee now, and then I'll show you what I was working on and what we're gonna do today. Also, it's really gloomy outside. I'm gonna turn on all of my lights so that I don't feel as moody as it is outside. I wish I had another coffee. I don't feel awake yet, but I'm not supposed to, so we'll just start working. Let me show you what I've been working on the past 2 days when I felt fit to do anything. As you know, as you saw, we have all of our paper ready. Now we need the book covers. And what you do is you glue the carton onto the paper in the exact measurements you have measured out before. And hi. Oh, so cute. And then on Tuesday as well, I already finished some of these. The only thing you have to do after you glued the paper on there is to cut the corners. You will see in a second because I'll continue to do this for the other papers. Cut the corners, glue it onto the carton, and then you have your final book cover. It's so pretty. I love it. I love it so much. It's such a beautiful paper. I mean, guys. And there is this gold on there. It's so shimmery. Oh, I can't wait to finish these sketchbooks. But, oh, it's so much work. I still have all of the covers for the white Pastel sketchbooks. Still have to do those. But it's more fun to do the corner stuff, so I'll just start with making these into real book covers. Let's just talk about the two tools I've been using for a second because they are 3D printed. My husband is very much into 3D printing, has been for years. And every now and then when I find something cool on this website called Thingiverse, there are open source designs such as these available. I'll just send it to him, maybe tell him, can you make it a bit shorter? Can you make twice the length? Is that possible? And then he will print it for me. Because it's ridiculous what you can spend money on bookbinding tools. There is even a design where you can make an awl out of a nail and your 3D printed design. It's just incredible. I love it. So this is a spacer. I placed it in here to make sure I have the exact space I needed. And the other thing is this corner cutter. I love this so much. It saves a lot of time. Before that, I had to use this ruler to make sure I was cutting in a 45-degree angle. Lay it down at your corner. Take a pencil, mark where you have to cut off the corner. And then when you glue it, you still have enough paper left over so that you can make sure your corner is covered by the decorative paper. That's what I'll be doing, just cutting the corners and then gluing it to make a book cover. Let's go.
Don't nobody else
Okay, we have oops. We have 12 book covers for the Terracotta and 12 book covers for the colorful oil pastel books. And now I can begin to put one of each together. It's a long process. These are the sketchbooks I found yesterday and they turned out amazing. The glue is perfect. I'm very happy I got the different one, not the same I used last time. This one is much better. And everything is working out the way it's supposed to. I'm really happy. They turned out so cute. As much as I love seeing the finished product, you guys, this took me 2 full days only to make the book covers and the sketchbooks, and I want to show you something different and I want to do something different. It's not like I didn't show you all the fun stuff I was up to. I was literally binding these books non-stop. But I did something else, something fun just this morning. It's now 10 in the morning. I've been up since 6, not by my own volitation, but rather because my husband has a slight cold and he was snoring. Usually he doesn't snore, but he kept waking me up. And it's hard to not take that personally, you know, when someone is snoring. And you just want to sleep and they can't stop. Anyways, I got up at 6. I have another fully separate video about how I am making these commissioned invitations for a name-giving ceremony. They are now finished. I think they turned out adorable. This is the family. I just have to package this now and send it off to the recipient. The other part, how I painted this in gouache in this medieval style, will be in a separate video. The sun is out. How nice! This is a print. Oh no, okay, this is the print, the hand embellished, and this is the Little Prince book. Yeah, that's the last one I hand embellished already. The others are unembellished. Plain unembellished, yeah, sure. They are plain prints. Now it is a bit annoying as I'm trying to work. You probably already know the drill on how to create these, but I'm just going to show you once more. Past Francis was so kind as to already make a grid on the back of the paper. This is where we will make 3 cuts, and then I'll start to fold.
Take me down to the waterside, let me drown in your blue green eyes. Take away all my plans today, I hope you stay, 'cause I'm in love with the salt on your skin. Where you been, my love? I'm in love with the salt on your skin.
Next up, we attach the colors that I have thankfully already created. This is the front as well as the back.
Take me in to the ocean, baby, let me swim. No, you drive me crazy, take a chance. Be here with me, baby, make it last. 'Cause I'm in love with the soles on your skin, where you been, my love. I'm in love with the soles on your skin, with the soles. I'm in love with the soles on your skin, where you been, my love. I'm in love with the soles on your skin. Dive in with me, let's take this love so deep. You and the sea is all I'll ever need. Dive in with me, let's take this love so deep. You and the sea is all I'll ever need. 'Cause I'm in love with the salt on your skin, where you been, my love. I'm in love with the salt on your skin, with the salt. I'm in love with the salt on your skin, where you been, my love. I'm in love with the salt on your skin. I'm in love with the salt on your skin, where you been, my love. I'm in love with the salt on your skin, with the salt. I'm in love with the salt on your skin, where you been, my love. I'm in love with the salt